Hi, welcome to Artist Talk on Bob's Radio. My name is Rio Raymond, and I'm now in the company of someone who started off as a fun time singer from Ghana, moved to Nigeria, applied his trade, and now finally in India, he is a musician. In fact, one of those genres or those style music that a lot of us are falling in love with of late. Karl Lion, Afro music, Afro musician. Now, also, do I say you're like a fusionist with Indian music and African music? Welcome to Bob's Radio,
Yeah,
buddy.
thank you very much for having me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. So,
Okay,
Carl,
okay.
when I was listening to your music, it was like something different. We've always heard like a lot of influence of the West in Indian music in terms of the instruments used and stuff. And over time, we also get
Yeah,
hear that there's a lot of drum and bass that comes in Indian music. But yours is something Afro music, which is gaining a lot of popularity, and you fused it with
thank
having
you.
your own Indianness to it. Firstly, how
Yeah.
did this collaboration, happen in your mind? Firstly,
Well, I like challenges, I don't like the easy stuff. I like to be challenged. So when I was first trying to collaborate this, I was just thinking like, how can I make it more fun and more enjoyable? Because I have a huge Indian base. So I was like, how can I get it to the point where my Indian, should I say, fans, how can they enjoy it as well, while also giving them a bit of some African sauce. So
right?
I was like, all right, let's try it. So at first it was not easy, man. Like, writing English, translating to Hindi, it's a pain in the butt. Like it's
But
better you just write in Hindi and just go ahead with it. But if you want to write in English and translate it to Hindi and sing, it's unbelievably difficult. So it was really difficult. But after I did the trial run and it sounded quite amazing, I decided to go forward with it. So now I'm like stuck on that. I love it. I love singing in Hindi.
when someone would listen to
I
you,
love
wait,
singing in
you can
Hindi.
pause for a minute and be like, wait, does this guy also sing in Hindi? Yes. So Karlan does sing in Hindi as well. He's a Ghanaian
Yes.
living in Pune
Yeah.
and creating some really
Yeah.
good music with Afro and an Indian fusion mix. So, Carl, there are a couple of songs as well. But when did you come to India? Firstly, let me ask you that.
It's been a long time. Like I've been here for around 10 years.
Oh, nice. So, in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
you've been pursuing music or doing something else like a corporate career of sorts?
I was studying first, and then after studying, then I decided to start working. And while doing that, I decided to put two things together, like start pushing my passion and also,
Profession.
you know, yeah, doing
So,
my
are you a
profession
full
as
time
well.
musician,
So,
Carl?
oh, I don't think there's anything that's called as a full-time musician because I mean, even musicians have other things they do, like you're not in the studio 24/7 singing, and like you have musicians who are businessmen as well. You have musicians who are, you know, who do other, things in life. So I don't think there's anything called full-time musician. I just believe that people, you know, put priorities first. Like music for now is not my priority because it's not making a lot of income, you know, so it's a second base for me. But once it starts making a lot of income, then obviously it becomes my priority because that becomes my bread and butter, right? So
You know,
there's no
let's just say you're right in a way, but also just to correct you, like when I say full-time
yeah.
musician, a lot of musicians are only doing music, like that is their full-time job. So that's the reason why I asked.
Yeah,
But I'm
the,
guessing in today's
the,
time
they're,
it's very
they're in a
difficult.
different level.
Yeah, but today's time, I
Yeah,
know, I understand where you
exactly.
come from as well. It's very difficult
Yeah,
to just survive on music with the current competition and
exactly.
the way the whole system is in place at this point in time. So I completely
Exactly.
get that.
Exactly.
Now you've been here for the last
As
10.
an indie, also as an indie artist, like it's almost impossible to survive just on music. If you
Yeah.
have like a big record label backing you up or some big, music body backing you up, then that's fine. But if it's just you and yourself, I mean, you you better know what you're doing, you know. So
I get it. Yeah.
that's
So
that's
it's,
that's the
I mean,
whole
you
point.
tend to learn everything on the go being an indie musician in terms of music
Yes,
and
yes,
also putting that bread on the table as well. 10 years
exactly.
later, you've learned Hindi as well. We're going to get you to speak a bit of Hindi in time. But I also
Oh my
believe
God.
But I also believe there is a reason why you
Yeah,
chose to write in Hindi and not just because it was challenging. Was there someone else, or
yeah.
was there something else that, like inspired you, like people that you met, or maybe the music in India is such that, got you into trying this out?
Okay, so like the first time I heard a non-Indian person sing in English was Akon. You know, when I heard him sing Chamak Chalo, I was really impressed. And then I saw the behind the scenes of how he kept mumbling like Tu mere Chamak Chalo. I was like, okay, this for me then it was easy. I was like, this is such an easy thing, you know. So it was not until I started doing it then I realized it's not that easy. And you know, I've been here, so I understand the dialect a little bit. But for somebody like Akon who just was
Landed
literally brought in
one
for
song.
that purpose, it must have been insane for him, right? So when I heard Akon sing that, I was like, okay, this is something I can try as well, you know. So I decided to go for it also, and also because you know there's not a lot of market in it right now, you know, like it's not saturated yet, you know. It's like you can still get a voice, you know, if you know what you're doing, you can still get a voice, you know, like I'm sure there are a few other Africans who sing in Hindi. I see a lot of Africans who even speak Hindi way better than I do. I don't know anything in Hindi. I understand better than I can speak, you know, but I see a lot of people who speak way better and understand way better. But, you know, when it comes to music, there's very less, you know, it's not saturated yet. There's
Yeah.
very less market for it. So I believe, you know, with the right work and with the right projects,
Mhm.
it's something that can blossom. Yeah, it's something that can
So, like,
it's
I always believe
like
music is universal. It's what you can evolve into it and alter a few things, bring your authenticity to it. It will sell. And the reason why I think you have quite a good following on the socials is because of the music that you make. So I'm guessing,
yes, it
yeah, it's
is.
big the music that you make. And I also want to understand one more thing before I get into the musicality of it is again the language. Because even for us to speak another foreign language is difficult. We would learn it, but then writing the lyrics of a song, that is where a lot of doubts would come in.
Oh,
In today's time, there is a lot of technology.
yeah,
Usually, easily put like a Google Translate or whatever, and then get those lyrics. Is that how you've been writing? Like, there are, I think, two songs of yours which are full
absolutely
Hindi.
not.
Afrobeat ki masti and
Googled,
Mera Dil.
yeah. So like Tu Mera Dil, Google couldn't help me. You know, it's like if I ask you now, you know, there's a way, you know, you speak like if I ask you like how are you doing? In English it's just how are you doing, you know. But there's a Hindi way, you know, to ask you casually, you know, how are you doing? And official, you know, like a formal and informal way, you know. So if you want to sing in English in an informal way and you put it in Google, it might not understand that, you know, that translation, you know. So in the beginning, I was trying out Google Translate and it sucked so bad, you know. Like I showed a few of my friends, like this is what I'm trying to translate to Hindi. Does it sound well? They laughed at me like, what the hell is this?
Okay.
I wish, yeah, they actually laughed at me like this is so bad, man. Like they were asking me who wrote this. I was like Google Translator. They're like, oh no. Like it's so bad. It's literally like some very bad Hindi. Like it's so fifth grade kind of like like there's no, you know, it's not natural.
Right, right.
So I decided, you know, to work with people who can help me translate it, you know, people who can actually be there to, you know, like if I tell you, okay, I'm trying to I met a nice girl and I'm, you know, trying to, you know, woo her, you know, I'm trying to get her to be with me, you know, you would know the better way in Hindi to put it, right? than if I just put it on Google Translate, like,
Right.
okay, I'm meeting this guy, what do I say to her? Google is just gonna tell you like very bad stuff. So that way, that's how I was able to understand like, okay, I actually need a team that I can translate. I love writing my own stuff, but writing it and translating it, it won't work in this case. So usually now I just write a few things and I just also tell them, I like my songs to be kind of like in a story format.
Right.
I don't know if you've listened to my songs, you'll see it's kind of like a story that builds up, So I somehow like tell them, okay, it should be like in this kind of story, or I write it down. So we spend like months trying to put it, and you also have to consider it has to rhyme as well. It
Yeah.
has to fit in between. It has to fit in between the bar, so it has to fit
So
in
is it
between the
like
bars.
professional
So
help that you seek, or were these friends of yours that who helped you write?
right now, not professional. Right now, not
Or
professional.
it was just your friends who helped you
Right.
write it in Hindi?
Yes, yeah, I am on their ass 24/7. Like when there's a project, I don't rest. I don't sleep. I do not sleep. There's a new project coming up too, so you should listen out. It's gonna be for the Dandia.
Oh, lovely. Man, you're
Yeah,
bringing music like how people make content online. Okay, Dante have to make this content. You're bringing music out for things. So thank God for that.
yeah,
And
yes,
when
yes,
there's one thing that happens is for getting a team together, especially okay, let's say Carl is a musician. Carl is a singer, songwriter.
yeah,
Does Carl also produce his own
yeah.
music?
Yeah, I produce a few music, but I'm not so confident as I am with writing. I am very good with writing. Like I know how to express myself when I write, but you know, producing the music, it's like such a different level that I don't feel confident. Like I have people who listen to it and they're like, it's amazing, but deep within me, I don't feel so confident yet that this should be put out there. It's like I'm so scared, like
No, that's
I'm
that's
not
a fear of
confident
every
enough.
artist. You're always looking for
Yeah.
validation of your own creation. But the reason I asked you that if you produce,
Lyrics, I'm super confident in my lyrics. Like I am super confident with what I write. But when it comes to producing, it's such a creative. I mean, writing is also creative, but producing your own songs, it's so much more creative. So I don't want to saturate the entire process. So I rather have a different brain, a different mindset produced for me, and I just write, and another separate entity to mix and master and all that. I like different people to work on the project. So it's not like it's the same thing. You
right?
understand?
So
It's not
that's why I
like
was
it's the
asking
same
you if
thing.
you produce is because it's not like African music is not new in India. It's been there for a while.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the authenticity of having Afro music, you need someone who knows and understands the
My
culture
producers are from back home. Yeah, my
back home,
producers are
right?
from back home.
But you mix and
Yeah.
master it here.
Yeah, I mix and master in India. So it's the project is like cross country. It's across the border. So producers from back home, I sing it here and mix and master it and everything from India itself. So
Oh,
that's
lovely.
that way.
So,
Yeah,
I
that
mean, that's
way.
what music has become today, right? Where you have accessibility
Yes.
to a lot of
Yes.
creators
Yes.
across the
Yes.
world. So that's
Yes.
a beautiful thing to do.
Yes.
Now, you have
Yeah.
people around you helping you write. You have people in Africa giving you the music, and here's Carl bringing us a good product out too. So, tell us about how
Yeah.
these songs came about. Like, what is the way you went about writing these songs? Thinking of someone. Usually, when you listen to African songs, it's a lot to do with talking about a girl.
So, um, like I said, I'm very confident with writing, but you know, the thing is, I like to write according to how the song, like sometimes I ask the producers, what beats do you have? Like what's the new thing? So I get sent a list of beats and I try to pick out something that, catches my attention. This is one way for me to this is one way I make music, and the other way is maybe I'm in the shower, I'm writing, and some kind of rhyme or rhythm just comes to my mind, and I'm like, okay, like Tumeradeo was the same way. Tumeradeo was like na 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 na. I was in traffic and I was like na 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 na. Immediately I just stopped. I pulled over. I brought out my phone and I recorded the I recorded the I don't know what to call it, the
the
ad
the
lib
the,
or
the
the
rhythm of it.
lip
I know
sync.
you're humming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna request you to sing a few lines of that as well. Now, while you talk about
Okay.
uh, the songs, there is "Tu Mera Dil," "Afrobeat Ki
Yeah.
Masti," "The Kind of Boy," and "Baby
Yeah.
Girl." Usually, when I
Yeah.
listen to songs from someone who's from the Afro genre of music, like I said earlier, when you write
Yeah.
music, it's ideally pertaining to trying to woo a girl you're going at or talk about this girl that you're in love with. So it's mostly of those sides, right? Even here, the kind of
Yeah.
boy, baby girl, money queen, tu mera dil.
Yeah.
Some sort of a lady luck in life that you wrote this about? Lady love in life that you wrote this about?
Okay, so Baby Girl was written at during Corona, during the lockdown.
Okay.
I was in a relationship then, so it was kind of inspired. The relationship inspired Baby Girl. I don't know if you listen to the words, you would see you would see that it's kind of talking about being together no matter what. So unfortunately, that relationship got over. So that was where the kind of boy that was where the kind of boy came in. And if you listen to the kind of boy, you would see it's no more about being together. It's more about, I'm trying to, it's kind of like I'm trying to talk to a girl, I'm trying to, get her to be mine. And
Girlfriend.
then, yes, exactly. And then also Money Queen is the same way. And Money Queen came at the points because this came like it was first Baby Girl and then the kind of boy and Money Queen. So Money Queen came at the point in my life where I was financially, I couldn't ask for more. I couldn't ask for more. Literally, I was doing too good. I was doing very well in my life. So I was like, now let's make something about, getting a girl who has her own shit together like I do. So that's where Money Queen came in and Tumira Deal came in when I was like, okay, now I have everything. I don't have a girl to spend all this with. So Tumira Deal inspired that. And now Afrobeat Kimasti was like, I mean, I still don't have that person, but I'm a playboy. I'm ready to have fun. So
You said all of your songs have a story, like, from the beginning to end of a song.
yeah,
The
yeah.
chronology of your songs also tell your story.
Yes, exactly. That's what
So there's
exactly,
a
man.
reason why
So
I asked you that also is because I did listen to the songs and they all
yeah.
went about in chronological order. So I thought, okay, I'm just confused. Which one is which part of his life? Let me just put it across
Start
and
with the
ask you.
first that was released. Start with the one that was first released, and then climb your way up. You would see that okay, he must have had his heart broken at this time.
So is Karl Lion single now?
Single? No, not single. Taking.
Taken, taken.
Uh, taking.
Is there a song coming out for this now? Is this what is coming out for Dasara?
No, and the next song that's coming out is Dandia, where I'm thankful for
Oh,
everything that I have in life.
okay. You just making it sound Dandiya, but it's actually Dhanyavad, I think, to the universe.
Yeah, I don't know how to call, I don't know how to call you understand what I'm saying,
So
right?
you're
So
saying it's Thank You.
the
The name of the
the
song is Thank You in Hindi.
no, not the song name. I don't know if you know this the
Dandiya
festivals that
Festival.
happen,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
Dandiya Festival.
Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so this the festival mostly is about, praising God and being thankful to God, right?
Right.
So like you're happy with whatever has been going on with you. So that's the next song I'm about to make, that I am happy with whatever is going on with
This is
me.
the
I'm
song is like your
thankful to God.
gratitude to God.
Yes, yes.
Well, we get you.
So you see how it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I must thank you, man, for getting on board and telling your story
Thank you very
and telling us,
much.
giving us tidbits of how the songs came about. Could you give us a little?
Yeah.
I know it's, when you ask a mom who's your favorite child, it's difficult for them to say. But I'll still be an ass and still ask you. Could you please sing us a few lines from your favorite song?
I don't have a favorite song. I just have the recent songs. So the recent one is automatically my favorite one because
It needs
that's
a
the
lot
one
more
that,
love and care.
yeah, that's the one that is still fresh. So yeah, I can sing you the entire song if you want to.
Just a few lines will do. I mean, for the whole
I
song,
I
let people
I
listen to it on the radio.
are you gonna book a show? You need to book a private show.
Looks like whoever's watching this might just get a little glimpse. Don't give them the full song. Few lines would do.
Okay. All right. Do you have the song, or I should just sing it without the?
I don't have your latest song, Carl. You have to send your latest song to me.
Okay. All right. So it goes this way. I'll just start from the bridge, okay? The pre-chorus. All right.
Yeah.
So Mazikana mi aya tujhe kya chahe bata de rat autan jawahe ishir ko tu dost banale mere jongu kirani tere hosna kirgami hey diu ya deruba Dunne में कोया Afrobeat की मस्ती नहीं है ये सस्ती
Wow.
नाच के मुझको दिखा दे पलट के अपने अदाए.
My God, Carl, you sound like
So
a
that was
proper Playboy song, man. That was, teasing the girl. Turn around, look at me. Well, it's been super fun, dude. Like
yeah,
this whole conversation to understand how
man.
it's worked for you. Now let's come to
Yeah,
the
bro.
business side of it in terms of music, right? You said
Yeah,
you don't make enough from the music side to make it your mainstream career. Now, if I were to ask you,
yeah,
it's a genre that is taken from another part of the world and blended with another part of the world where you are currently residing.
yeah,
When you do
yeah.
this, what is it like in terms of the reception from the audience? Who are your biggest fans? And how are the streaming numbers for you?
So surprisingly, like from the back end, like since I'm from the back end of my distributors, I distribute through DistroKid, not sponsored. I distribute through DistroKid. So from the back end, you get to see, where streams are coming in from or all that. So surprisingly, most of my streams are not coming from India. Like I don't know how or why, but surprisingly, most of my streams are not coming from India. Most are coming from outside the country where there's more concentration of Indians, like from the
Okay.
UK, from the US. I don't have much people out there, like like school friends or anything. Not much, but it's coming mostly from outside India where there's a lot of Indians, UK, US, Canada, unbelievable amount of streams coming from that side. So in India, it's like it shows like countries. India is like the fifth or sixth.
No.
Yeah,
Now,
surprising. I
but
know.
when you look at it this way,
Yeah,
okay, you have your audience coming
it's
from
good for
particular
it's good for
country.
it's good for the. In a way, I'm happy because it's good for the revenue because this country is the streaming rates are a lot
Different.
higher.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah, so the more streams I get from these countries as compared to if you were to put the same with India, it's like the streams from India, they don't pay, it's not a lot, but the
Right.
streams from the US, Canada, it's way more. So I'm not complaining. I'm just surprised that I'm doing it in India and
Yeah, well, you're like
it's
one of
not
the lucky
sticking out.
ones, I must say. One of the lucky ones amongst the artists that I've spoken to, who's not complaining
Yeah.
about the money you're making from streaming. But now let's come to
Yeah.
understand. Let's say you have figured that your most of your audience is from say UK, US, Canada. Now, somewhere you have
Yeah.
told me that these are places that has a lot larger concentration of NRIs, which is non-residential Indians or
Yes.
Indians who are
Yeah.
abroad on various
Yeah.
reasons, right? How do you
Yeah.
decide that these are Indians from these particular countries, or were you able to do that, or is just like a perception?
Because because let's say my English songs, the songs that I have in English, most of the most of it was coming from like the kind of boy. I got a lot of streams from Africa, Kenya, South Africa and stuff, but very less from like the US or even India because it was sung in a kind of like an Afro way where you might just enjoy it, but you might not understand what I'm saying, right? Most of the English songs were not from these big countries. They were just like from like Africa and stuff, right? But the Hindi songs were coming from these countries that had more like
Like an Indian
I
population.
mean I don't know if a white guy is gonna understand what two mirror deal means, right? So it's just common sense that obviously
Okay.
you understand, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's just common sense that a white guy, a Canadian or an American is gonna be like, oh, Ladiki tu mera deal ko no. If I sang in rap, maybe if I was rapping or something, and it was getting these streams in English, then I might be like, okay, it's a mixed audience, but since it's in Hindi, it just makes sense that most of that would be from the NRI Indians.
Right. That
Yeah,
makes sense, you know. But how is it in
yeah.
terms of your streams? Or do you have to do extensive marketing as an artist to push the content out, or is it just algorithm based?
Uh, First, you have to do a lot of Instagram. So, like, I don't know if you've ever boosted a post on Instagram before. You can select your country, you can select what countries you want to boost it. So, before I used to boost a lot in India and very less engagements. But when I started boosting a lot more outside India, and there was way more engagements.
Right.
So it's mostly through um Instagram boosting of my reels and stuff. And I also have a few people who I ask them to just, you know, push it out there as much as they can, like DJs back home and
Right.
everything. So yeah,
That's lovely. And one more thing to
yeah,
just close out on this particular subject is
yeah,
making music is not cheap. It's not economical as well. Right? And once you make music, the publishing of the music is one side, then the distribution of the music is one side, and then you have to keep
yeah,
marketing it. So all of this is cost. Now, you did say that you do make a decent amount, fair enough, because of the kind of streams that you get from other parts of the world. Do you
yeah.
break even with the amount that you spend on your music to the amount that you make with streaming and revenues?
Right now, I wouldn't say I break even because I go for really expensive stuff. Like from the producing of the music to the mixing and mastering, everything is expensive. And I don't mind it being expensive because it's something that once it's out there, you cannot take it back and be like,
Right,
oh, or you cannot start explaining to your fans that, oh, I didn't have money, that's why I'm just, doing it for time pass. If you want to do it properly. So I spend a good amount of money to make sure that if you're listening to it, you enjoy it. It's not like you listen to it and you're like, if you don't know me even, you might not even support me because good music has to be good from writing, from producing to mixing and mastering. Everything has to be flawless. That's when it becomes good music. But if the producing is with like very substandard and everything, so I let this like from my first song to around I think the kind of boy or something. I started understanding this. My first song was the same way that I'm explaining to you now. I was like, I'm not gonna get a lot of money from this, so why spend so much? And I regretted it a lot, big time. I regretted it. So again, if you look at the songs how they have progressed, you would see that each one sounds way more tuned and refined than the previous one because I decided no more cutting corners. I'm gonna spend as much as I want to and like have to get the product that I want in order to make my songs so that once it goes out there, people can actually enjoy it. And I look at it as a kind of like an investment, so to say, because you don't know, you don't know when it's gonna, you don't,
Totally.
I mean, the age
When
of
it's going to
social media.
suddenly become hit. Now, this
Yeah,
is also
yeah,
something a lot of artists can take note of, because usually what happens is, yes, we understand like the kind of pockets that artists have, that they want to put the music
yeah.
out, but they don't have the deeper pockets. And sometimes
I would suggest take a loan, borrow money from whoever, spend on that music. If you really believe, yeah, I honestly would do that. Like if you look, I don't release so many songs. Like I have a few friends who are also artists, and if you go to their Spotify page, you see like 20 songs. They release like 10 songs a year. And all the qualities are so bad. Like I listen to it once just for support, and that's it. I don't want to, either there's too much treble, or it's, I personally would not put something like that out there. So you see a lot
it's
of artists
important to get
releasing,
a good
releasing.
producer.
They're just doing more. Yeah, exactly. They're just doing numbers. They go in the studio, or even they have a makeshift studio at home. They go record and they just put it out. I am not into that. I can release 20 songs daily if I want to. I can do it literally daily if I want to, but I want everything that I put out there now to be like really, really refurbished. Like you want to listen to it and really enjoy it, like production has to be top
Right.
notch.
The
Top
demand,
notch.
we're so used to listening to good quality of music, and the way we listen to music also has changed
That's a
over the years. So I
Yeah,
think
that's another thing, right?
that is
That's
something we all
another
need to
thing
keep in
because
mind.
yeah, that's another thing, right? Because if you're doing music from deep within, if you hear crap, you know it's crap.
Yeah.
You can lie to yourself that, oh, it sounds okay, but if you hear crap, you know this is garbage, you know this is bad, especially I would pardon the writing because not everybody is,
Is gifted
not
to
everyone
write
can
great
write
songs.
properly. Yeah, so I would pardon the writing. And most these days songs don't even have any meanings to it. There's no meaning to songs these days. It's mostly I can mumble rap right now and boom, it's global. But if you look at the producing the music, the taste of the music, it's always good. What I'm saying most times doesn't even matter. But the music and the mixing mastering, it's always like really good. Either the bass is like the bass, the chords, the melodies, it's like top notch. So what I'm singing, people don't even want to know what I'm singing. They just, you know,
Groovin.
dance to it. Yeah, exactly. So when you have crappy writing, crappy music, crappy mixing and mastering, only your fans and your friends and family would just listen to it just to support you, like people would not listen to it and actually come back for that. So I always suggest and advise people that I see around who want to listen that it doesn't matter if you spend 50,000 making a song, just make it. If you really want to be putting things out there, don't go for quantity, go for quality. Release one song a year, it's fine. Release one, but let it be like you release something really good. But these days, quality is never it's
It's
never
like
the
a
thing. It's
social
more of
media game. You have
quantity.
to be consistent, constantly being out there. So that's what is being a little bit
Exactly,
of a burnout at
exactly,
times. What about
exactly. I
live
mean, okay,
shows, Carl?
which one would you choose? Would you rather be making good quality contents, or would you rather be making crappy contents and just throwing out crappy contents on
I
your
believe
social
in
media
content
platform?
is king. So as long as you are consistent in doing the right kind of content, like say for me as a creator, my content
Yeah,
kind should be like something that resonates with the audience, or somebody who's going to watch it. It should not be
yeah,
something of I'm just doing it for the purpose of doing it. Then there's no purpose of doing it at all.
yeah.
Like if I'm talking to Carl, I
No,
need to
I'm
get.
I'm saying the quality. I'm saying the quality. Like let's say the conversation we're having, it's quality conversation. So everything has to be like at least to some level, right? Like you
Right.
cannot just make some
I can't
crappy
just ask Carl, okay,
conversations.
what's your name? Which country are you from? And your music is like this. Oh,
Exactly.
thank you so much, Tara. Bye bye. Where have I
Exactly.
got
So
content out
it
of you?
needs to be exactly. And I'm sure when you edit this as well, you want to edit it and put it like in a way where the audience are engaged, right? You
Yeah.
don't just put it
Correct.
out there, like you decide,
There's a
so
reason we
that's
sit
the
to
point,
edit, right?
like you
There's an
make
effort
good
that goes
quality.
into editing it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So
What
so
about
that's the
live
thing.
shows,
That's the
Carl? What
thing.
about shows? Are you performing at gigs?
Yeah, I am. They're not
Okay.
paying well, so but I am.
But that's a thing with something that's new, right? And it's going to take time for that to build on. And once you,
Yeah,
I mean, it's like they say, when you're constantly at it, someday it will hit. So the hope is
true,
to be
true.
at it, but sometimes they say don't be dependent on hope. Work on it as well, right?
Yeah, I'm an opportunistic person. Like I see I create opportunities even without. I don't wait for manna, for handouts. I try to do what I can. The only thing I have noticed these days is that, when you contact a few people, like I want to collaborate with a lot of people, but people don't respond to their Instagram. I don't know if it's a thing of pride or ego or like I have sent out a lot of DMs like, can we collaborate and stuff? Nobody replies. I'm like, I'm so bad. I'm so bad that people don't want to collaborate with, or like people are so egotistic. Like it's like when you contacted me through Instagram, I believe, yeah, you had
I
sent me a
did.
message. I need it as much as you need it, probably. So we come together and collaborate. But there's some people who just maybe they've released a few songs and they just think they're like they're like so
I
big.
get where you're coming from. One example that I can give you is, this is what is like, for example, in sports, right? Uh,
Yeah,
Usually what happens, say, since you're familiar with cricket, say there's a team
now,
from Ghana, a cricket team from Ghana, since you're well aware of the cricket scene,
yeah,
and then there is Indian cricket
yeah,
team, right? The ranks are pretty different. The levels are pretty different.
true,
Now, for them to come
true,
together, it's like next to impossible to play a game, right? So the same thing happens in
true.
sport also across the world. Likewise, I think a lot of people on Instagram think, there are one of their songs that have got of a like massive amount of streams, or they might have a higher number of following. But do they have a
Yeah,
great amount of music or like a great quality of music? You can't tell. But it's because of
sadly,
the weightage that they carry
sadly,
with the numbers that they carry.
sadly, sadly, the people who I contact, I, I, I mean, I'm not gonna go contacting somebody that is way above me and expect them to, respond, right? So the people who I'm contacting are people who are almost the same level. It's like give or take, a little bit the same level. So I mean, if they if they are feeling that way when they're not big and they're not out there yet, then I have no idea because I really, like I said, I really want to collaborate and share ideas and make good music. Just one person who's collaborated with me, and the moment I spoke to her, she didn't even waste any time. She was like, let's do it, So I want that kind of mindset. I don't want the mindset where, I contact somebody for something and I have to keep running after them, like, when are we gonna do this? When are you gonna do
There's
it
something that,
is
I want to add to this is that's why we're always so much in awe and have so much of a respect for some of the biggest of artists back in the day, that they had mutual respect
yeah,
for each other. They didn't have social media or anything of this sort that gave them a head.
exactly.
Like, for example, if that was the case, we've never seen Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney get together, Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury to
Yes,
get together, AC/DC and Church becoming
yes.
a band and touring across. These are things we never even thought would happen, but they have happened. I don't know
There's no
where people
humility.
get this idea that
There's no
they're just
humility.
superior and
There's
achieve
no
something.
humility with these people. There's no humility. Like they have a few songs and they just feel like I am I am out there, I've made it, like who is this person sending me a DM, who is this guy,
I
man?
feel that way too, man. Like, people when I send messages to artists as well. I mean, with all due respect to every single artist out there, but sometimes when I hear stories about this, about how social media numbers are becoming your metric to even judge people. Earlier it was to hire people. Now
Yeah,
it is also
exactly.
people who have the kind of following.
Exactly.
They tend to look down on people who don't have the kind of following they have. I'm like, that is not
Exactly.
mean that you're successful in life.
Social media is making people believe that first maybe they have friends or maybe they are successful. No, 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 no. Your success, you cannot judge your success from social media, you know. It's it's first it's a manipulative platform. You can manipulate it according to what you want or how you like. So I cannot look at you and judge you from your social media, you know. So people sadly that's the reality. People see it and they're like, I'm sure if I had a few pictures with Akon, chilling with Akon somewhere in the Bahamas, if I had a few pictures with, I don't know, David Guetta or some big DJ Khaled, maybe some big producer, or somebody, you know, like, you know, they would probably run coming, like, you know, if I sent a hi, they would send me a hello, how are you doing? I hope you've had food
I'll
today.
say
You
this
know?
with all due respect to the artists that are being played on other radio stations as well. The music
Yeah,
quality that we play, I mean, the artists that we have, is pretty much the
yeah,
same that is there on any other radio station. Only thing
yeah.
is what's backing them is a label and an agency, and what's backing you guys is your passion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That is literally the only difference. And obviously, if you have a label backing you up, you have everything at your disposal. If you want to sing with a certain microphone, they're going to provide that for you. If you want to collaborate with anybody and their label feels that that's going to boost you up, they would get that done, you know, like you don't have to send DMs to anybody like, oh, let's link up, let's collaborate. No, you just tell your label, I want to collaborate with this person. I believe it's gonna make me grow, and obviously it's gonna make the label grow as well. So they would get it done, you know.
But hence why
Like
you're an independent artist and you have to work on it all by yourself.
exactly. And the people I'm contacting are also independent artists. Let's come together and create magic, man. Like
Maybe it was not
there's
meant
no
to be, Carl.
competition.
Let's look at it this way. Maybe it wasn't
There's no
meant to be
comp.
because there have been some negative
I don't
fires
have
that would
any
have been
hard
started.
feelings, man. I don't have any hard feelings for that. Like I never I
No,
just
but
look
I
at
get
those
where you're
things and
coming
laugh,
from.
you
I
know.
understand
Yeah,
it's not hard feeling, but it's just about how people have started looking at other people, whether you're an artist or not.
yeah,
You judge people based on your social
yeah,
media following, which is somewhere which means that we have to question our conscience and say, listen, let's
yeah.
rewind a
It's funny.
bit,
It's just funny
reset.
to me. It's just it's just funny to me. So that's it. Like I don't know. I don't understand such mentalities. So that's why it's funny to me. Like I would always
Uh,
jump on. Like even there's a guy who contacted me some time back. He was like he wants he wants us to make a song together in Marathi.
oh,
I've never sung in Marathi, yeah, but I was like, yeah, let's do it. Marathi, obviously. I went and I don't know, he's not released it. I think he's still working on it, but I went and I sang a verse. I made a verse on the song, half of it Marathi, half of it in English, and so like such people, he didn't believe that I was gonna come true, you know.
uh-huh.
He didn't believe I was gonna come true, but I did, and he was shocked. Like I was like, it, there's some terms and conditions, obviously. Like I don't want it to be a crappy project. That's
Uh,
one thing I'm always against, you know. Like if I feel that the music quality is bad, I will just tell you there and there that I feel you can do more.
okay.
Either I pay for it and we come to some sort of understanding, but I'm not gonna put my voice on something that the entire outcome would just be like because when the music comes out, I want to push it to like my music, you know. I don't want to be pushing out something that it's like, how did you go from this to this? You know, you're supposed to be going up.
Going
You're
up.
not at the top yet. You're not at the top yet. So why are you going up and you know going up and down? So my only criteria is just the quality should be good, like mixing, mastering, the quality of vocals, the quality of the beats itself. It should be good. That's it. Once that is there, I would go to anybody and collaborate with them, you know. So
Well,
for me, collaboration,
to be
I see it
honest,
as a
your
personal gain.
music is, you know, it is somewhere that is the ask of the day, the genre, Afro music. Everybody is
Yeah.
tripping on Afro music. They just love the beats. I'm a huge lover for African music as well. And then to blend it together with Indianness and bring it a new spin is a rarity. And kudos to what you are doing.
I should take a Hindi crash course.
Not with me. Not with me. You would definitely not do well and write all the wrong things. Trust me, because I have made a mistake and lost a job in the radio because of one wrong Hindi word. So not the person to take it on.
I
But you know
learned
what,
all the
Carl?
bad words. If you ask me the bad words in Hindi right now, I can lay them all out for you.
I'm sure when you learn
All
a
the
first
swear
language, I
words,
mean language for the first time, the first ones are always the very colorful words that are taught to
all
us.
the swear words, bro. All the swear words, all the bad words. I can lay them out right now. Like you pick anyone.
I'm sure because that's what we learn when we learn a language for the first time.
I know, bro. I know.
Carl, it's like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we're looking for a
Same
connection
here.
somewhere in
Likewise.
time. Maybe at a gig, maybe somewhere just bump into each other and ask you to sing "Tu Main Dil"
Likewise.
and try your Hindi out one more time. But once again, absolute pleasure.
Likewise, bro. Likewise. It was nice talking to you. Nice talking to you.
Cheers, all the best, and we
Yeah.
look forward to Dandia.
Sure. Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you.